God says, this person in your area is extremely possessive of this item you have, and they are. Wait, what? Did you just hear that? It sounds like a strange premise for an article, doesn't it? But let's roll with it. Imagine for a moment that you received this mysterious message from the divine, urging you to delve into the realm of possessiveness and obsession. What could it mean? Well, let's embark on a journey together to explore the intricate facets of possessiveness, human nature, and the things we hold dear. Possessiveness is a curious trait embedded deep within the human psyche. We've all experienced it at some point in our lives, whether it's coveting a prized possession, fiercely guarding a loved one, or jealously protecting our territory. But what drives this primal urge to possess and control? Is it rooted in insecurity, fear of loss, or perhaps a longing for power and dominance? As we navigate through the labyrinth of human emotions, let's consider the case of Sarah and her beloved vintage typewriter. Sarah stumbled upon this gem at a flea market years ago, and ever since, it has been her faithful companion through thick and thin. She cherishes every click-clack of its keys and revels in the nostalgia of a bygone era. However, little does Sarah know that her neighbor, Mr. Johnson, harbors an intense desire for her prized possession. Mr. Johnson, a retired writer, has always been drawn to the allure of vintage typewriters. There's something about the mechanical precision and tangible connection to the written word that captivates his soul. When he caught a glimpse of Sarah's typewriter during one of her backyard gatherings, he couldn't shake off the feeling of longing that washed over him. From that moment on, he found himself consumed by thoughts of possessing that typewriter, regardless of the consequences. But why does Mr. Johnson feel such an overwhelming need to possess Sarah's typewriter? Is it simply because he admires its craftsmanship, or does it run deeper than that? Perhaps it taps into his subconscious desire to reclaim a piece of his past, a time when words flowed effortlessly from his fingertips and creativity knew no bounds. Or maybe it's a manifestation of his loneliness, a desperate attempt to fill the void left by the absence of meaningful human connection. As the days turn into weeks, Mr. Johnson's obsession with Sarah's typewriter reaches new heights. He finds himself devising elaborate schemes to get closer to it, whether it's striking up casual conversations with Sarah or offering to help her with odd jobs around the house. Yet, no matter how hard he tries, he can't seem to bridge the gap between admiration and possession. Meanwhile, Sarah remains oblivious to Mr. Johnson's inner turmoil, blissfully unaware of the storm brewing right next door. To her, the typewriter is more than just a piece of machinery, it's a conduit for her creativity, a silent confidant who listens to her innermost thoughts and dreams. She couldn't fathom anyone else laying claim to something so dear to her heart. But what happens when Sarah finally discovers the truth about Mr. Johnson's obsession? Will she confront him and demand an explanation, or will she retreat into the safety of her world, barricading herself against the outside threat? And what about Mr. Johnson? Will he confront his demons and find solace in letting go of his fixation, or will he succumb to the darkness that lurks within his soul? The story of Sarah, Mr. Johnson, and the vintage typewriter serves as a microcosm of the complex dynamics that govern human relationships. It reminds us that possessiveness, though often dismissed as a petty emotion, can have profound implications for both the possessor and the possessed. It speaks to our innate desire for connection and belonging, and the lengths we're willing to go to protect what we hold dear. But possessiveness can also be a double-edged sword, capable of inflicting deep wounds on those caught in its grip. It blinds us to the needs and desires of others, trapping us in a cycle of longing and discontent. So, what can we learn from the tale of Sarah, Mr. Johnson, and the vintage typewriter? Perhaps it's a reminder to tread carefully when navigating the murky waters of possessiveness and to approach our relationships with humility and empathy. To recognize that true love and connection can never be possessed or controlled, but must be nurtured with care and respect. As for Sarah and Mr. Johnson, only time will tell how their story unfolds. Will they find a way to transcend their differences and forge a deeper understanding of one another, or are they doomed to remain prisoners of their desires? One thing is for certain, the journey towards self-discovery is often fraught with obstacles, but it is also the key to unlocking the shackles that bind us to our deepest fears and insecurities. Consider the case of Alex and his prized collection of rare coins. For years, he has painstakingly curated his collection, scouring flea markets, estate sales, and online auctions in search of hidden treasures. Each coin tells a story, a glimpse into the past that resonates with Alex on a deeply personal level. But when his friend, Emily, expresses an interest in one of his most prized possessions, Alex finds himself grappling with conflicting emotions. On the surface, Alex is thrilled that someone shares his passion for numismatics, but deep down, he can't shake off the feeling of unease that gnaws at him. What if Emily doesn't appreciate the value of the coin as much as he does? What if she mishandles it or, worse yet, damages it beyond repair? Suddenly, the thought of parting with his beloved collection feels like an unbearable sacrifice. But why does Alex feel such a strong attachment to his collection of rare coins? Is it simply because of their monetary value, or does it tap into something deeper within his psyche? Perhaps it serves as a tangible reminder of his quest for knowledge and discovery, a testament to his insatiable curiosity about the world around him. Or maybe it's a reflection of his desire for validation and recognition, a way to prove his worth in the eyes of others. As he reflects on his experience, Alex comes to a profound realization that true happiness lies not in the things we possess, but in the connections we forge with others. His collection of rare coins may hold sentimental value, but it pales in comparison to the bond he shares with Emily and the memories they've created together. The story of Alex and Emily serves as a poignant reminder that possessiveness, though often driven by genuine affection and admiration, can sometimes cloud our judgment and obscure the true meaning of happiness. It challenges us to confront our deepest fears and insecurities, and to recognize that true fulfillment comes from within, not from the material possessions we accumulate. So, the next time you find yourself tempted by the allure of possessiveness, take a moment to pause and reflect on what truly matters in life. Is it the things we possess, or the relationships we cherish? In the end, the choice is yours to make, but remember, true happiness can only be found when we learn to let go of our attachments and embrace the beauty of the present moment.